Hey everybody, welcome to the monthly video. So we're going to talk about all the monthly stuff, starting with the indexes. Going to the SPY, you'll have a hammer month at all-time highs with full time frame continuity. Still has the 312 year in force from the macro video, and it's up 18% this year. You got the momentum hammer week as well going into the new month, so it could really get moving right away. If you go to the Dow Jones, big outside month hammer, so that's a 3. That means that's a broadening formation for sure. And we're going to have a lot of outside months here. We're going to point out a lot of broadening formations you're going to want to draw out on your charts. So I suggest following along. You go to IBM, you're going to see a little weaker at this point, still setting up the hammer month with the inside quarter up in force and the 2-2 year. Does not have a yearly magnitude, but would have a monthly magnitude. Slight momentum hammer week as well. If we go to the Qs has the potential 2-2 week, which means it's also relatively a little weaker than something like the SPY or the Dow Jones. And that would trigger a 2-2 month with a bright green year. So weekly to get monthly going, we'll see. And if we then go to all the outside months, I'm going to start at bigger market caps and work my way down, just so you guys know that. LLY, you're going to have a 3-3 on the month. That's a definite broadening formation. Did it once and again. So it's going to look something like this, and this one's pretty volatile name. So if we can get out of that, could expando, or if we're going back through it, you got a big broadening formation to come back through. That's going to be the same for all these outside months. JP Morgan, outside month hammer, all-time highs, really good in the financial stuff from the previous macro videos. Walmart, big ol' outside month as well. Bright green on all the time frames. If we go to cost, big outside month. So you got the 3-3. Does have a little bit of a shooter week into the new week. So that change in monthly continuity and shooter, you could take some of these guys out. Would want to be aware of that, but still very green on the year. If we go to Netflix, 3-3 on the month. Did we talk about that? We did. 2-2 week PMG to cause that. Boom, boom, boom. You're in. Inside week, add to that position that we talked about on the previous weekend video. If you go and check out the beginning of August. And therefore, your try looks like this. Inside week would cause expansion of that. Would be going into all-time highs, exhaustion risk. If we go to CRM, which is Salesforce. So something I have shorts on. It's closer to 3-2 down after an outside month broadening formation. Still inside quarter though. So after this stuff around 230, not quite sure. It's a gapper name that we got on the list from that. In the energies, you got a few outside months. A lot of them are just closer to going 1 next month. So I'm not going to talk too much about that. You go to Cisco in the tech. Momentum hammer week, outside month. And this would be slight lower low on the quarter and back through previous range, trying to rev strat the year. So your magnitude's up in there, other side of that yearly try. So 58, if that gets going. If we go to TXN in the chips, you're going to see the big outside month, broadening formation here on the weekly. We getting out of that or not? If we go to AXP in the financials, also another outside month like JP Morgan. If we go to into, this is consumer discretionary, closer is going inside. If we go to PDD, closer to resolving lower, 3-2 down with a 2-2 quarter in force. So this would be on the downside in the China. And we're just going to we're going to skip through anything that's kind of doji. We want the big, nice green ones, ideally. If we go to VRTX, healthcare name, doji. Bright green on all time frames, though. Nike. I'd actually prefer that one short. It is against the yearly continuity, but the quarter is slightly green. If we go to PNW, outside month with an inside week, just like Netflix. So that could confirm a quarterly in force with a magnitude to all-time highs. Bright green across all time frames. You see a slight lower low, back through previous range. Inside week momentum to try and get that moving up in there. If we go to Shopify. Shopify outside month. You'll see the weekly broadening formation here. So you got nice big broadening formations on this stuff. Closer to going 2 to the upside to start. In the info text, we'll have PLTR, which with the AI, potential 3-2 month, confirming inside quarter, confirming bright green year with a 2-2 week to make that go. So that's something I'd want to know about. W day, big old outside month, closer outside quarter, doji year at this point. You will see the try look something like this. Notice a slight poke down and potentially back through all this on the monthly. If we go to Marvel, also a chip name with TXN, you will see outside week. It did have earnings, and then outside month, closer to rev strat in that quarter and getting that in force. Does have magnitude on the year still up into this stuff, all-time highs in the chips. Also in information technologies, FTNT, some crazy stuff there. Big outside quarter, big outside month. Bright green on the year at this point. here's your broadening information on the month. Big 3, draw right to left. So we come back through that, we staying up there. And you'll notice a lot of things, these things are at the highs. So these are not actionable signals in the sense we want to go buy them all, but something we want to know because the bigger the broadening information, the more likely it is to get a big move up or down, right? That being said, Autodesk in the technologies, we'll see broad information here, closer to a shooter week back down with the new monthly continuity, which is countering the yearly continuity. But if it breaks down in this stuff, I believe that year would change. Yeah. So this would put you 20 bucks under the yearly open if that were to occur. And then we will see SE. Big ol' outside month here. Here's your weekly broadening information, like such. And notice we're just drawing them out. We're getting them on our chart so we know we have them. MongoDB, nice outside week. You see the broadening information here as well. So how's that going to resolve is our question. You also have this monthly broadening information should it start recovering. On the running shoe company, 3 on the month. And notice this is your monthly try back in here. They're expanding that. It's been a lot higher. On 5605 is what we'd want to see above this stuff, 4827. If we go to Affirm, you're going to see the big outside month broadening information. So that's closer going 3-2 expansion. We will see it's still an inside year. Also tells you things like Upstart. You'll want to keep an eye on, which you can see also big ol' outside month broadening information, but shooter on the week going into the new month. So draw that out. We getting out of that? Or are we coming back through it? And that's the question on all of these, right? If we go to Chewy, the pet company, you will see this. Slight higher highs, slight lower low. So get that broad information drawn. And I'm kind of skipping a few things in here, just sticking to those higher market cap names. So that is about it on the outside month scans. Now we're going to get to our actionable signals. So where are the signals going into the new month? Well, if we go to app.stratalerts.com, we're going to want to first look for, let's say, RevStrats, right? Some of our favorite signals, the 1, 2, 2. And we'd ideally want to hammer first. That's going to be the first thing we look for, like such. So AVGO, HPE, so 2 tech names. AVGO, that's something I'd like to know about. Hammer week to cause RevStrat month. If you're a RevStrat guy, you got a lot of continuity. You'll notice you have some nice pivot targets to come back through as well, up and left. So that's something I want to know above 165.70. And what you can do is when you mark this stuff out, you can just add alerts. So, okay, that goes in force, let me know. If we go to HPE, I believe it was. Also, RevStrat month. Above this, 1998 for the small account boys and girls, up into 228.70 or 2282. Did go into exhaustion risk at all-time highs. So broad information on the year is looking something like this about now. So we'll see how that resolves. It could turn into a 2-2 next year the other way should this not work. So we'll be aware of that. We can also then go 2 down in green. And it looks like XOP is the only other thing to get added on there, and that's going to be in your energies. And this is not 2 down in green, so not sure what's going on there. That being said, though, not too much on the bullish rev strats. You can also look 2 up in red or shooter. So Hershey's, consumer defensive, RNG, and the tech as bearish signals. So it'd be where natural selling is potentially occurring. So if they're really going to get puking in any of this stuff, the signals to the downside, you can see RNG, look at this try. True support and resistance, boom, boom, boom. And now a slight lower high telling you that buyer in here not that aggressive. So if it were to come back below 31.49, could take it down into this, 14%. And the year is kind of a doji at this point, so you just got the month. If we go to Hershey's. Hershey's can be closer to RevStrat month down, no weekly signals or anything. Still inside quarter, but below this Hershey's, you could take out all these guys in one go, and that would cause a big loss for the Hershey's company, causing RevStrat month into 3-2 year back through previous range. So that's something that'd be really bad for Hershey's. Maybe they got some, judgment day coming to Hershey's, so we will see about that. Below 189.31, and I'm going to set an alert on that for sure, like so. And what we like to do is get these all drawn on our charts, so then when we see daily signals, like Hershey's is on the daily list, and I open my chart, then I know there's a RevStrat month here, and I know the broadening information, and I know it's closer to 3-2 year. So this is just to get us looking at those really big time frames, so we understand what we're looking for on those smaller ones when we get signals on the day, week, and 60s. That being said, we can go 2 up in red. and it's just RNG, so nothing additional there for the rev strats. If we go to double inside months, para and communication services. Double inside month, it is a $10 stock, so I'm not too interested myself. Not much meat on that bone. If we go to 3-1 on the month, you'll have 52 names. So what I like to do here is either sort by ATR or by market cap. So there it is. And we can actually filter by direction to maybe make that more manageable here. So 26 names. We will take a look. I'm going to go minimum price $50 just to remove a few. Like the bigger ones there. All right. So, and I hope you guys aren't listening to that from a computer. It doesn't look like you are. All right. ALLE in the industrials. 3-1, which would confirm an inside year up, which would confirm an outside quarter continuing higher. So 312 above 139.36. It is momentum, confirming the direction of that 3. But you do have a magnitude up into there, around 148.60 just about. And that's industrials, and I'll start there first. Fast in the industrials, 3-1 on the month. Inside week hammer. And you can see it could rev strat that quarter with the magnitude up into 7.714. The year is not super green there, so above that, we want to stay above it. If it were to reclaim, we rev strat the other way, which would negate the year and put the quarter back in force. If we go to ITW, inside 3-1, potential outside quarter, doji on the year at this point, and ITW is going to be Illinois Tool Works. If we go to J in the industrials, 3-1 could cause an inside quarter up, confirming an inside year up. So you'd have month, quarter, and year signals. Just need some weekly and daily signals. So above this, you get PMG through these guys. Not much magnitude. If we go to RHI in the industrials, never traded it. This is closer to going confirmation of the year down if things were to start puking for natural sellers. And there's a lot of industrials in here. Pool in the industrials. 3-1. Here's your monthly try. Right to left, boom, boom, there she is. Potential outside quarter. It is a 2 down on the year, so still slightly weaker. And therefore, if things were to be weak, you got pool, weekly pivot machine gun to cause 3-1-2 reversal month, which could negate the quarter and get the year back in force. But we will see. If we go to SWK Industrials, and I'm going to be skipping just a few that I normally don't look at. Bottom of its big yearly try. It is yearly 2 to the upside. You can see the big outside quarter 3-1 on the month. So you got your broadening formation. Looks something like that, just from your outside quarter, your outside 3-1 month. If we go to waste management, this is one of my favorites here. Waste management, outside month, that's definitely a broadening formation. Has the inside bar to confirm break green year. So above this, you got momentum hammer week plus 3-1-2 month reversal, around 212. So that's the industrials. We will also then see kind of like a mix of just a few financial services and some real estates in there. So SCHW, one of the weaker financial services, quarter down, year is red, but inside month 3-1 with a slight hammer and an inside week that could initially trigger it up, but it'd have to stay up or else you rev strat and you start coming for these guys down here. If we go to L, financial services, 3-1 hammer on the quarter, not one I normally trade. And outside of that, few healthcares, not much that I'm normally looking at. And then WPM, which is a gold miner. So WPM has the inside week to trigger the inside month. Tells us we can look at gold, which is inside week to close. Still has a year 3-1, or actually 1-3-1-2. If we go to silver, it could become 3-2-2 month, but we'll see. So not so much the inflationary stuff besides the XLB materials, which are really going. The momentum hammer month. And that would be WPM in the basic materials. All right. If we go to 3-2-2, fun to say and fun to do, we can look for 3-2 down in green on the month. And we got 32 of these names. So a lot more industrials on this list as well. So you got tons of industrials that are trying to set up, which is an interesting theme I'm seeing here. In the tech, you'll have ADI. Potential 3-2-2 with the inside week to go up here and take it out all-time highs again. And remove that. So your weekly try looks something like this. Poke up, poke down, 2-2 reversal, coming back up, inside bar. If we go to AMD, closer to a 3-2-2, but a little weaker as it went 2 down on the week. So it's nowhere near taking out last week's highs. If we go to AME Industrials closer to a 322 to the upside, like such. AVY in the consumer cyclicals closer to a 322 to the upside on the month as well here. If we go to booking, BKMG in the consumer cyclicals closer to a 322 month here as well. Is already an outside quarter. In the energies, COP. So if the energies do strengthen up, here's your big monthly try. I'd like to know about that above this stuff in here, about 115. If we go to crowd in the technologies. Well, crowd could recover here, 286.77, maybe back up 40%. Still really right on the quarter, so be aware of that. But once a 3 on the quarter, always a 3. So if that's recovery, that's recovery. If we go to industrial CPRT, Coparts, I think it is, 322 above this stuff, 53.57. DE, that's what I'd like to know about. Look at this. We've been talking about this in a little bit. Now it's really setting up. Slight lower low poke down. Then your try in the month is actually this. Right? You also have a sub try in here, something like this. So 322 down in here on DE, you'd get it back up into these guys for about 31 bucks. More industrials. So Dove 322 potentially backed up, never traded it. ETN potential 322 back up, also never traded it. It's also got the 132 week for those that like playing 3-2s, specifically 132s. JCI Industrials, potential 322 back up. IEX Industrials, potential, or actually, never mind. Hub, potential 322 back up, full time from continuity. So a lot of industrials. And then we got some technologies down in here as well. So you're going to have ROP. Not really close to taking the month up. If we go to Square SQ, payment processors, closer to a 322 back up. You got this try in here on the month as well. Poke up, poke down, slight lower low, and then reclaim. If we go to Uber in the technologies, closer to a 322 pivot machine gun. I believe that is a potential 2-2 week as well. So boom, 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 boom. You can take all those guys out and you're rev striding a quarter. So that's something I'd like to know about. And then XYL, the industrial sector. So 322 above this, and it's a 1322, so you got a lot of broadening formation going on in there, above 138.71. So when we scan next month, we're going to scan in force, and then if we see a ton of industrials breaking, that's what we're trading all month, unless that changes. But a ton of industrials. Next, we can look for 3-2 up and red. And this looks like mostly healthcare's here, so bio. You see it's 2 up in red, so it's corrective. It's nowhere near taking this down. So still going 3-2 up, which means it could still keep expanding. If we zoom back and left, it could take out a ton of these guys, right? We'll see. COR. Also, similarly, you can see it's like doji, so closer to doing neither up or down. If we go to DHR, little bit closer, but closing as a hammer counter shooter week, so we'll have to see if it's below that or not. And again, we just hit the scans. Whatever's in force, we go after it. GPC and the cyclicals. Similar type of thing. So just not many downside setups on the 322s here. MTD, same, just a little bit. PayC in the technologies, same thing. Just kind of nowhere near doing that. PHM in the home builders, kind of the same thing, just nowhere near doing it. Spotify communication services, similar thing. It's just nowhere near going down, so it's closer going up. So really not many 322 bearish to go after this month. That's notable. And then the last thing we can look at is just any inside bar 2-1, or you could also look for 2-2 reversals. So we're hitting them all. We can go for bullish 2-2 reversals, and we'll have about 99 names setting that up. And what I like to do is just filter by market cap, so we can whittle it down to the really liquid, high volatility normally. So Apple, closer to a 2-2 month back up. Adobe, closer to a 2-2 month, which would cause 3-2 quarter to keep going. So remember in Adobe, we mentioned the 2-2 week here, 537.32, to set up what? Potential outside month. To do what? Put the 3-2 quarter back in force. So that's working. We will add to it above this, 578.31. And you also should have added above the quarter signal. You know? If we go to Amazon, closer, you can see they triangled out, pivot machine gun. If you watch my tweet, you know exactly why that occurred. And then you got the hammer counter shooter week, which is a momentum setup. And you got the big broadening formation here. It is at all-time high, so be aware of that. But above 190.76, and you have the weekly to trigger that Amazon back above these guys. If we go to ARM in the technologies, which is your chips, you got the slight hammer weak like the Qs, potential 222, Randy Jackson. If we go to Boeing, I don't really have high hopes for that one. Yeah, no thank you. If we go to Citigroup, hammer counter shooter in the financials with the momentum hammer weak. So you can see the broadening formation, shooter, hammer, shooter, hammer. So boom, 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 boom. And then eventually this is going to take off. It does have a year 2-2 to the upside in force. So above this in Citigroup, 65.23. Anyone that held short, which they did, is it closed 4% lower, gets blown out when we take that out. If we go to CAT Industrials, with a DE, CAT and DE are really the main two if you're going to be trading those. 2-2 above this, 356.51. Bright green here, potential outside quarter to all-time highs, 384 just about. If we go to CVX Energies, not so much. If we go to GE Industrials, another one that we love to trade with Waste Management, CAT and DE. GE, 2-2 month above this, back through a previous range. Been a lot higher, 290.50 on the year is still what you're looking for on GE. So if that monthly works, you get to hold, invest. If you go to Goldman Sachs, we already know about that hammer on the month. That's something I don't want to know about. Confirming inside year up, which we talked about at the end of 2023. It's already up 31%. And if we go to Intel, nope, not so much. So the scan's just a little different. IBM's on there. JNUG, which is your gold miners, a little bit, not so much. Morgan Stanley Financial Services with GS. You see, here's your monthly triangle layout. So then 2-2 back above this. I believe, yeah, you still have all-time highs to take out, so that should occur. And I believe you also still have this yearly in force. Yes, so you still have magnitude to do that. And then we don't know at all-time highs. Microsoft in the tech. See potential 2-2-2 with a 2-2-2 week to make it happen. Still a 2 up in red, or still a 3 quarter in red. But the year is still green at this point, so we will see. And if we go to OIH, not so much. I'm unsure why it's on the scan. Oracle has the 2-2-2, and you can see testing this try and then back up into that stuff, bright green on the year. So above this, Oracle in the technologies, 141.59. If we go to Tesla's, there's your 2-2 hammer week. Tesla could cause a 2-2 month. Already has taken quarter magnitude out, so you're kind of stuck in there. It might not be the best thing to trade. It could start chopping around. So you're knowing you're taking this or this, right? If we go to TSM Technologies, it's going to be in your semiconductors. Potential 2-2-2 as well, like this. Randy Jackson. And then you'll have the energies, the tech, and the discretionary all on that list as well. So a lot of bullish potential 2-2s there. Bearish side of things, just a few healthcares, so kind of like what we've seen before. ABT, not so much. And a lot of these have continuity up. So AZN, really good 2-2 month, right? Remember inside week we mentioned on the nightly vid? Boom, there's your 8%er. Full time from continuity, so that's still gunning. MDT in the healthcare is nice. PMG, so cool stuff there. But nothing to really talk about on the downside there. So really a lot of these bearish 2-2-2s are just not setting up for us. So we don't got a lot of bearish setups, and all that tells you is that, there's not many bearish setups to go after. Does not mean things can't be bearish, but it just means the monthly signals, we don't have that. Outside of that, the 2-1s are the insides on the month. We'll have 74 inside months. So unlike anything that went 2 down last month, anything inside 2-1 or 3-1 will be relatively strong. So if you want to go after strength, it's going to be the inside bars. And therefore we can go industrials and say, well, strongest stuff in there, 2-1. And you'll have some that we know about, GNRC, Generac, which is like generators parts or something above this, 158.72. If we go to CSX in the industrials, see the inside month 2-1 above this, still an inside quarter though, and you can see RevStrat in that year bit, so not the strongest one there. LHX, you'll have the inside momentum confirming hammer counter shooter year with a 3-2 quarter in force, so that could get really moving. Notice it's expanding the monthly try up in here. So I'm trying to get back out of that stuff. If we go to URI in the industrials, inside bar hammer month to confirm a quarter. And GWW, inside month continuation, which could trigger a quarter at all-time highs. It's really just been gunning. Big $1,000 stock there. Inside week hammer as well. So a lot of industrial inside 2-1s there for you, the relatively strong ones. I think the last one in here is LHX, which we already talked about, so good. In the tech, your relative strength, it's going to be a lot of nobodies that I really don't trade, so maybe a small cap tech, I'm not sure. So like EPAM, you can see like inside quarter, 2 down here, so it's really more of a short. You got FFIV, that's a momentum measured move setting up with a year in force and a quarter in force. So FFIV above this, we definitely want to know about that. 204.05. IT, same type of deal there. It's just all-time highs, but just like FFIV above that. TYL, momentum measured move on the month. So big buy, brief pause, and then now it's at all-time highs. So you just got to be aware that the buyers do have to take the offer or else it's going to come back in the other way. Zebra, inside momentum hammer, does have a year up. Don't got many pivots to go after on the month here. Let's see, they've already taken out most of those. And that's about it. So there's some of your relative strength in the tech. And then outside of that stuff, looks like we have a few healthcares in there, which we can already see healthcares are kind of just a little lackluster on the setups this month. But healthcare sector quarter and year in force still with a 3-2 month that just expired. We'll see biotechs inside month, so that gives you some more evidence in the healthcare. So inside week to trigger inside month to confirm 2-2 quarter to confirm inside year up from the macro video at the end of 2023. That gives you things like AMGN, which is similar, 2-2 quarter, 2-2 year, inside month to keep going. Also something we talked about, the end of 2023. Pfizer, you'll have the inside month, but a little weaker than the rest, so we will see. And really, that is about it. So those are going to be your signals up and down. And really, the only other thing you could do is go and scan like maybe specifically a 1-3. That's the only thing we can't scan for here. But that is what is setting up into the new month. So right when the new month opens, how do we play this? Well, you can look at the charts. You can draw all the stuff out. That's good. And then you can go month, in force, yes. And then filter. Update this every 15 minutes intraday, or maybe 10 minutes before each new 60, or whatever you can handle there. But we want to just see where is the simultaneous break, because we have so many industrial signals setting up. We got a lot of tech hammers, and the whole market's just setting up to keep going. So we can go for month in force. We can also scan, if you're just looking for direction, who's 2 up and who's 2 down. It'll tell you who's continuing or reversing, and then who's continuing down, who's reversing down, right? So super cool stuff there. The one scan we can't do here is 3-2 in force, which we're still, having some issues with. But that being said, we'll try and track that for you guys with Thinkorswim or for the time being. That's going to be about it, though. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys with the new month on Monday night, talking about what gets moving first. Adios, and have a great rest of your day.